Hello, everyone. If you can already see and hear us, let us know in the chat. I'm very happy to welcome you on this workshop on how to create a multilingual website that we're hosting today together with Weglot. Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
Hi. So let us first introduce ourselves. So I'm Elizabeth from Tilda Website Builder, and I oversee communications and content, mostly global content, and I host webinars on all things related to website building, right, and website marketing, and as you can see today, multilingual websites. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, sure. I'm Thomas, Partnerships Manager at Weglot. We are a web translation app, and I mainly lead tech partnerships at Weglot, building integration and forging our brand awareness in communities. And yep.
Great. I'm very happy to have you today, Thomas. So we will together try to break into simple steps the process that might seem very complicated to many people, the process of creating multilingual website. Before we start, just a couple of things so that we are on the same page. So this webinar will last for about 1 hour, depending on how many questions you guys would like to ask us. At the end of the webinar, those people who registered to the webinar on the Tilda Webinars landing page will receive a very nice bonuses, which are promo codes and coupons from both Tilda and Weglot. So stay tuned, check your inbox. And also, if you have any questions during the webinar, don't hesitate to use the chat. We will check all the questions. We have chats in front of our eyes. So we'll come back to the Q&A at the end of our talks. Very good. So I think we're all set to start. And let me just go through the agenda of today. So what we're planning to touch upon. First, we'll talk about the benefits of having a multilingual website, because it's not only about websites, right? It's about business, it's about going global, and it's the first step in bringing your business to the international audience. Then we will show you how to build actually a multilingual website on Tilda. There are several options, several ways you may want to choose. There will be a live demo. I will show you how to add actually Weglot to Tilda website. We'll talk a little bit about user experience and auto layouts. Then we'll cover the SEO, which is a very prominent question in this topic, as many people hesitate to go multilingual because they think, well, maybe SEO will drop or it will affect their ranking, etc., etc. So we'll cover this, and I'll show you the real-world example of how Tilda is actually using Weglot, and then there will be Q&A. Great. So if it sounds great, let's just go into it. And the first part is for Thomas.
Yep. So we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of having a multilingual website, because obviously we are going to talk a lot about global audience, internationalization, and it's good to have that in mind. So we can start with the first slide. we always love to start with some stats and numbers. So 48% of consumers only buy from our website in their own language, which means that there is almost 50% of the volume of traffic on your website that you can acquire by simply translating your website, which brings us to the next slide, ranking up. So obviously, the goal for you on search engines is to rank up and to see an increase of traffic because you have translated your website. Once you see the traffic on various languages, destination languages, that is increasing, you can think about maybe spending a little bit more time on your translation and work a little bit more on your SEO translation, which brings us to the next slide. So as your traffic is growing, you want to make sure to attract the right audience to your website. So it's a simple equation.
Sorry,
No,
slides
there is.
are not uploading correctly. Yeah. All right, here
Yeah,
we go.
no worries. Technical issue. It's normal. We are live. So it's a simple equation. Increasing your traffic equal, increasing your number of customers. You don't want to just have random people coming to your website. You want to make sure to attract qualified leads. And how do you do it? Is by displaying the right content to the right audience. And the easiest way to do it is to follow Google Multilingual SEO best practices. We're going to talk a little bit more about it at the end of the webinar. And yep, we often forget about the two last slides. Number one is building trust with your customers, because by allowing them to navigate on your website in their own language, you are also making sure that the journey on your website is super smooth and that you're building trust with them. They can have access to everything in their own language and they have more comfort. It just ease the conversion on your website, so it's simple to attract a lead and to convert him to a customer. And the last one is personalization. It's also a topic that we often forget because we think about the personalization of website design, of pop-ups, the emailing, but we often forget about the languages. As I said before, if you want your customer journey to be really smooth, you also want to don't forget about the languages, the translation. You don't want a page to be translated partially. And if you take, for example, your terms and condition page or your shipping page, you want to make sure that it's also translated in the languages of the customers that you're actually targeting, depending on the countries, just to make sure that the journey is really smooth and that along the way there is no drop down and there is no turnover on your website.
Right. Very nice intro, Thomas. Yeah, please, I will encourage again those who are watching us live to drop your questions in the chat. Whenever you have them, we will be happy to reply to them after the webinar during the Q&A session. All right, so now I will talk a little bit from the point of view of the website builder, how you actually design your website and make it multilingual painlessly. That's very important because, of course, there are many ways of doing it in a way that will take months and months of your work, or that will make you hire designers and developers, etc., etc. But there is, of course, there are many ways of doing it all yourself without big investments and without spending hours on tutorials and trying to figure out how to code or all those things. So basically, if you create a website on Tilda, you can have two main paths of how you want to organize it. So first of all, you design your website, you design a page, or if it's a multi-page website, you design multiple pages in one language, preferably in your mother tongue, so that you're sure about the content. Then you can take one of the paths, which is the multiple websites, meaning that you want to create different domains or different subdomains. So in my example here, you have domains like the Spanish version of your website will be the name of your website .es, right? The English language version will be .com, and the German will be .de, according to the language. So this is, let's say, somewhat complicated path compared to the second one. Why? Because first of all, you will need to buy several domains. You will need to make sure they're all available. And you will need to also buy the business plan on Tilda that will allow you to create multiple domains, multiple websites in your account. But mostly it will be complicated because you will have to maintain all of those domains kind of separately. So why it makes sense to take this path for whom it might be interesting. Mostly it will be interesting for those who want to target different markets differently, right? So if you want to market or if you want to launch different ads campaigns and use slightly different content for different countries or regions, that might be a good option for you. Also, it's a good option in case you want to distinguish for Google, you want to distinguish your different regional websites so that Google will rank it differently. And take into consideration that the domain authority of one domain will not be inherited by the others. So here they're separate. They're separate players, and you need to maintain them all simultaneously. So it requires a little bit more effort and attention. But then, on the other hand, some companies use this to distinguish themselves on different markets. Right. So another option is to create a single website and make subdirectories for this website, meaning that basically, well, if you do it manually on Tilda, you would do the following. You would create a page in one language again, just like in the previous example. Then you will copy it and make the translation. And the URL address of this page would have the same domain name, but will have a slash plus the language name in the end. So just like in this example, you will have your website.com/es or .com/de. So all the language versions in this case will be hosted on one domain, will share the domain authority, and will still be quite clear for the audience because, yeah, when they navigate, they also want to understand which language or region version they are in. So that's why it's important to make sure that URLs they correspond to the content and to the regional settings. But in this case, what is cool is, yeah, mainly the fact that the domain authority is shared, and also that you don't need to go and buy different domains or look for subdomains and maintain them separately. Another cool feature that we have on Tilda is that you can create multiple landing page. So that's the one step toward the automatization. How it works. So there are two ways to automate the process of basically redirecting the users according either to their location or on their browser language. So in case Google or any other search engine recognizes that your browser language is, for example, Spanish, you would be automatically redirected to the page with Spanish language, right? To the Spanish language page. Or based on the location, it can be cool as well because for example, if a person is searching your website from Austria, they would be redirected to the, for example, German language page. automatically. And all the rules you can set up on Tilda using the special blocks. So there are blocks that you can just add to the page. They will not be visible for the users, but they will be technically important, and they will actually do the redirect according to the rules that you assign. So these are the possibilities. They're more obviously more targeted and more detailed things that you can do. Also on Tilda, for example, change the content of the blocks according to the user location or browser language, etc., etc. But we will not go into details. If you have any questions about that, please drop them in the chat. For now, we'll just go on and try it out on Tilda. So basically, what I want to show you now is how you can very quickly create a website on Tilda using the AI. That's what I will do now. And then connect Weglot to this website and get it translated immediately. So I think, based on my estimations, this will take us around 10 minutes. Let's see how it's going to actually happen. But yeah, well, just to retain something, that you can actually now create a landing page and get it translated into as many languages as you want in under, for sure, half an hour, or probably even faster. So let's check it out. First, we go to the Tilda main page, which is tilda.cc. I log into my account. So this is the business account that allows me to have up to 5 different websites. And let me start a new website that I will call Freelance Designer, for example. Right. Here, the project is created. So the first thing I want to do is to create a new page. I click on this orange button, and I end up in the template library. So here we have plenty of different templates for different businesses, online stores, or any other projects that you may think of, even link in bio for LinkedIn, etc., etc. So you can scroll through those templates, and also you can start your website from the blank page. But what I want to do is I want to generate a page with AI based on my prompt. So I will go for this second option here, and I click generate. Right. So here, the first thing that I want to do is to enter the website description. Right. So let me just copy. I prepared here to save our time. I prepared a little description and a little prompt for the AI. So what I want to create is a personal website for a freelance web designer who creates websites for clients. Very vague, but still nice. And then the task. So that's the optional prompt that you can use in order to specify the structure of your website, so that the AI knows at least what you want to have as a result. So here I have a description of my structure, and I paste it here. So my structure would be a cover page with the key info about the designers, CTA, the portfolio, obviously, client review block, an about me section, and a contact section, right? So that people can contact me. And then I click next, and the page is being generated. So let's see what will be the results. You never know with AI. Let's have a look. So we can see how the blocks are being added from the library. So until you have a ready-made block library that consists almost 600 different blocks in 30 categories. Categories are like a hero section, navigation bars, portfolios, contact, testimonials, news feeds, footers, headers, etc. And now our website is being created in front of our eyes. So you see all the texts, they more or less correspond to the prompt. Of course, there are things to modify. Like I already want to capitalize the headings, for example, and stuff like that. But it's not bad at all. I like the theme. I like this light blue color, you see. We can also change the accent color, but I really like it, so I will leave it. Let's see how it will look in a dark theme. No, maybe I will stick to the light one. Okay, and here on the right, we can check the blocks on the page. So these are the blocks that AI proposed me to have. They correspond to my task prompt, but also it went a bit further and created a footer, for example, that I didn't ask for, and a navigation bar, which are very important for a website, and people often forget it, but then the users struggle with navigating through their website, which is nice. Okay, so I think I will go with this version. Craft compelling websites, that will be the title of my page. So there, my design journey, explore my work, different examples of the work of the designer, collaborative process. So that's the process of how the design workflow is made when you work with this designer, and then a very nice review section with the pictures already and even the names of the clients, let's say. So in case you create a website this way, you basically, what is left for you is just to change the content and you've got the structure. Very nice. So I'll just go with this page version. So once the page is done, what I want to do is to publish it, right? But before publishing, I'll go into its settings and I will change the page title and description, which are very important for SEO. Don't forget to do this. Don't publish websites just like that without checking out on their settings. So here I would go and modify web designer portfolio, and then let's say Brussels based freelance web designer. So whatever keywords come to your mind, please use them here. And with the description, yeah, you can put a bit more detailed description of what you actually do. So for example, I create websites for musicians, art festivals, and sport events. In this case, when people would search on Google, a web designer in Brussels creating websites for art festivals, that would most probably end up on this page. Right. So I save changes here, and before publishing, I want to have a little preview probably of the website, of the web page. So now I'm in the editor. You can see there are some interface elements that would allow me to add additional blocks in between, or hide and delete the current blocks. But what I wanted to see is how my audience sees this website. So to do this, I click on this preview button on top, and yes, I immediately see the end result. So that's a good practice to also be always, before publishing your website or web page or any edits that you do, to first check on the preview. So that will be my preview, and it looks quite neat. Yeah, the buttons work here as well. Very nice. Also, I want to check the mobile view, which is very important because, yeah, a lot of people, as you know, would rather access your website using their mobile devices. So the mobile version, as you can see, is automatically adjusted, and the design, you don't need to recreate a design for mobile version. It's already done, so it's all responsive. Nice. Okay, so I'm happy with the results and I'm ready to publish my page. What I do next is I click this big publish button. And here is a very important step, is selecting the URL address for your website. So please don't skip this step, because again, for Google, for SEO, that's not good if your website would be titled as project 123, etc. No one will find it ever. People will not remember its name, and it just doesn't make sense. So whether or not you're going to buy your own domain, until you can also stay with the tilde subdomain, which is my case right now. So the first thing you want to do is to specify the name of your website. So I will put here freelance web designer, let's say Brussels. And then my URL will be freelance web designer brussels.tilde.ws. This will be my URL address unless I buy my domain name. Then the tilde.ws part will be deleted, and I will have my clear name. All right, but it's already good this way, so I will just go ahead. Okay, it's too long. This one is already taken. Let's be creative here. Freelance web designer makes for Brussels. All right, so the page is published. Let's have a look. Yes, so now it's a live website. It's fully published, and the language of this website, as you might have noticed, is English. So what do we do next? The next thing we want to do is basically go to Weglot, right? But before that, let me copy the website address here, right? And then we go to Weglot and create a new project, right? So to create a new project, first you want to put your project name, freelance web designer Brussels. This is the name of the project that will be used mainly for you. Then you get to choose the website technology. So for Tilde websites, we still need to go to other category. Then we go next. And here we choose the languages that we want to translate our website into in the original language. So the original language is English, so it was correctly identified. And then let's say I want to translate this website into Spanish and into French, right? I can add as many as I want, but yeah, for now, just for this example, I will add these two, which are quite popular worldwide. Then I go next, and here I put my domain URL. So the domain that we just used to publish our website, I paste it here, and Weglot automatically checks this whether or not this URL exists. It does, all good, all green. And the next step is to choose the URL type. So whether I want my website to be translated as subdirectories or subdomains. So I will stay with the subdirectories, meaning that my URL address would end with the slash and language code in the end, rather than starting from the language code as it's a case in subdomain. Right, so then I click next. And Weglot is configuring the translations. Right, and this is the step where some DNS settings should be performed. This is something you do on your website, domain registrar. I'll skip this step for now, and I will show you how you can go without this step. And the next thing I see is the script that is proposed to me by Weglot, with the clear instructions of how to actually go around it. So it says copy and paste the following script code into your HTML page just before you add tag. So what I want to do is I want to copy this code. I go back to Tilde. Oops, sorry. I go back to Tilde. So this is the editor of my website. Here I go to the site settings. So these would be the settings for the entire website, not for the given page, but for the entire website. I go all the way down. I find the More tab. And here I find the HTML code for the head section. So here you can actually modify the HTML code for your head section. And that's what I need. I click Edit Code and I paste the script from Weglot. Great. I save it here. I close the settings. I go back to my project and I publish all pages. So every time until you make any changes, especially if you do any changes in website settings or on the page as well in the editor, no matter what, they would not go live before you actually publish or republish the page, right? So it's important to remember that you need to do it because it's not automatic, and it makes sense because maybe you want to modify something and then undo it, etc. So once I published my page again, let me go and see what happens. So that's my page. Let me reload it. And look who's here. So here in the lower right corner, I can see the little language switcher that has these two languages that we just set up on Weglot. So immediately it takes an action, and French or Spanish is available. So let me translate the page into French, and voila, the page is in French. Let's see if all the interface elements were translated correctly. Yes, so the design adjusts automatically to the different length, because that can be also the problem or the challenge. Let's say it's not really a problem when different languages have different length of words. Especially the German language is very popular in this sense because it's always very long, has a lot of long words. But no, here all the pre-designed blocks on Tilda, they automatically adjust to the language. So that was French, and let's see, Spanish version of our website. Here it is. So the menu as well and the titles, they're all translated. The buttons as well, no problem about that. So here it's all in Spanish. Cool. If you want to change, so the language switcher looks a little bit sad here. So if I want to change it, I can also quickly set it up on Weglot. So I go to my translations, I go to setup. No, sorry, I go to language switcher. And here I can actually modify it in a visual editor, the switcher editor. Yes, so I can change the, let me see, where was it? Where I can choose, yes, the country flags and the switcher size. For example, I can add a little nice country flag and make it bigger or smaller, but I think the size is just fine. Very nice. And these are the switcher templates that I can choose. And yeah, for example, I will go for this minimalistic, nice switcher. I save it, and let's see if the changes are applied immediately. Yes, they are. I can see that the switcher was just changed and all the languages adjusted automatically. If I go back to English version, here it is. So that's how easy it is. Then, of course, on the Weglot side, you have plenty of possibilities to personalize your translations, to add a glossary. This is something that we use extensively on Tilda when you add glossary rules and, for example, prohibit Weglot to translate certain terms or certain brand names or certain phrases, etc. You can also go for the visual editor and visually change some translations, some given translations. If you need to see the result immediately, you can see here the translations by URLs. And so there are plenty of stuff. I guess it will take another webinar to go through all the modifications, but just to give you an idea about how flexible are the settings on Weglot. So once we did it, we did the automated translations. It took us, like several minutes, right? Then we can go ahead and personalize them and twist and trick them to the point that it becomes perfect. And you have all the settings on the Weglot side for that. I don't know, Thomas, maybe you want to add something here while we are still on the Weglot
Yeah,
side.
no, I mean, it was a really nice demo. And obviously, as you can see, it's super easy to add. You have firstly you have automatic translation, and then you can edit all the translation on the Weglot dashboard. You saw the language switcher, which is like editor, which is really cool. You can design it and make it match the website overall design. And a cool feature too is that you have a professional translation. So let's say if you don't have the time to spend on the translation yourself, you can actually hire a professional translator to edit all the translation for yourself, which is also nice. And yes, you have various features available there. We won't go through all of them because obviously we are limited at time. But if you have questions or you want to reach out to me or Elizabeth afterward, we are available on LinkedIn. Feel free to just reach out and ask a question too. And happy to dive into the question after at the end of the webinar too.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So that was our little demo. Let's go back to the presentation. Let me just have a look at the chat and see if we have already some questions. All right, so let's take a couple of questions maybe now. What do you think, Thomas?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Without waiting till the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Amelia is asking, if you have a multilingual website, it's assumed that your service offers customer support in all of those languages. How to go about it if you don't have the budget and resources for that?
Yeah, that's a really nice question. I mean, here at Weglot, obviously we are an international business. The support team is not like the biggest team of the entire crew, which is showed how important it is. We're a French-based company, but all the people that we hired for the support speak English. So they mainly communicate in English, and some of them had like a second language. Like we had someone speaking Korean, for example, or Spanish, and we have like a multicultural team which help us to when we communicate with our support. With customers. But let's say if you don't have any budget, I think we should think about clever ways to use tools to help us maybe to understand what the customer is saying and also maybe do the translation. You have ChatGPT, for example, that can help you just to make some quick translation and other tools that are also available on the market and that are free just to give like answer. But I mean, almost like I would say 90% of your customers should be like at ease with English. So let's say if you validate like you can speak English and communicate with them in English, it would cover maybe like 95% of your market. I'm not sure at 100% because there are still people who are not English speakers and who speak other languages. So to cover that, I think try a free tool and get the translation there to make sure that you can communicate with them at ease.
Yeah. I agree. I think, yeah, there are so many tools at the moment available for instant translations that it's not really necessary to hire people
Yeah.
that would speak several languages. Um, which is, on the other hand, it's always cool to hire people who can cover multiple tasks. But well, it's not necessary
Yeah.
thanks to the fact that we're in 2025.
Exactly.
All right, so I think the other questions we'll take them after, and now we can go to quite a complex topic that may seem complex for many. For me, for example, it always is something that I don't feel super comfortable when it comes to SEO. I don't know how to feel comfortable about that because it's like so many things to keep in your mind and to think about. But yeah, I guess tomorrow will make it
Yeah. I
clear.
will
Yeah.
try my best to make it super simple. Of course, it's a complex topic because there is a lot of like subtopics into it, and there is a lot of guidelines, things to cover. But we are going to try to keep it short and to try to answer all of your questions. So if we can move to the first slide. So we are going to go through all the multilingual SEO basics, having separated URLs, hreflang tags, metadatas. I will give you some tips too about language future visibility and having one language per page. So if we go on the first slide, the most important thing if you want to have your page properly indexed is to have unique and dedicated URLs. Now you have various ways. You have like country-specific domain. We speak about it before, example.de, subdomain de.example.com, or subdirectories, so /de. All of these different URL structures have their own pros and cons. And what matters the most, if you look at the best practices, is to have a unique and dedicated URLs. As long as you have that, your website will be properly indexed. And next, we'll go through hreflang tags, which seems complex, but I love to always give a simple example. You can move to the next slide. So this is an example of how it looks on your website, on your source code. The example that I like to give is that you have a Google bot, which is like crawling around and it's moving on the web. And you want to show that your website is actually translated in English, French, or various destination language. So you add the hreflang tags. So the Google bot is going to detect it and go for your page and crawl in it to make sure that he knows that, okay, that page is translated in this and this language and is targeting this region or this region to basically help you to index your page properly again and to rank up on the SERP. Technically speaking, you will have to add it through your header or on your sitemap. If you have like every time that you have a new page, you need to add the hreflang tags there. It can take a lot of time, but you have tools like Weglot that automate this entire process and it make it just super fast and super light for you. And next, you don't want to forget about the metadatas. Elizabeth told you a little bit about metadatas when we created the website. Super important to add the title and the subtitles and the description. If you go for the next slide, we are going to see an example. Here it is with Weglot. So we have a French version and the English version of the website. Obviously, what we want is if someone is searching for your product in French, then the French version appear and there is no English words there. It's all translated in French so that the user can click and be on a French page to convert easily. And yes, the language future visibility. I've seen someone on the chat who asked a question about it, and I found it quite cool that we have it on the presentation. So if you go on the next slide, it's actually a tip that one agency gave us. So it doesn't mean that the language switcher needs to always be there, but it needs to be visible. So we have one partner agency who they found out that basically the more visible it was, the best it was in terms of ranking on a search engine. It's just something that they found out doing it with multiple use case and multiple customers. So I always love to share that tips. Obviously, here it's on our website and it's how it looks, but it matches our website design and yeah. But on another website, it could be somewhere else at the bottom. The more important thing is that it's visible so that the user can easily navigate with it. And yep, having one language per page. In the beginning of the presentation, I was giving an example of like a website being partially translated in, it's in English, it's partially translated in French. It's not good at all for SEO purposes. You want one page, one language, and it's as simple as that. It's good for the SERP, good for SEO, and it's a really simple rule. And yeah, these are like the main multilingual SEO basics that we will go through. I hope it's helped.
Great, thank you. So that was understandable, at least. Yeah, some tags and metadata may seem challenging, but again, I guess both on Tilda and Weglot help centers, you would find plenty of information that breaks it all down and makes it quite easy to understand, even if you have never ever had a chance to face these challenges before. It's not a rocket science. That's the bottom line. So it's something. If you already have a business and you're building a website for it, there is nothing more complicated, in the website building process or in the process of making it multilingual. So you'll make it for sure. Now, let me just give you a quick overview of how Tilda is using Weglot. We use it quite extensively, but I will also only show you two use cases regarding our help center that you can see here in this slide, and regarding the Tilda Education. So let me just go to the Tilda Help Center. So it looks like this. This is the main page of our help center. Again, you can see how detailed it is, and for sure you will find the answers to any questions. Here you can search, and yeah, the articles are divided into topics, so it's easier to find what you're looking for, and so on. So, but what I want to show you is not the how great it's still the help center is, but I want to show you how we translate it. So the language switcher is on the lower right corner here, and it's designed according to our guidelines. So it's a little bit in our style, just like what Tomas showed about the Weglot. So we redesigned it. And if we see this drop down, the number of languages is slightly longer than in our example. Yeah, just to give you a clue of how we actually chose those languages, right, to go for them. So we always, until then, we try to start all the processes from our user requests, right? So we first see, okay, do we have users from this country? Do we have any kind of requests, let's say in French, right? And how many are they? Yeah, like what are the top 10, let's say, language requests? What are the languages that people use to address our help center? So we gather all this data, and based on that, we decide which languages to add to our help center. And in the end, so we have this extensive number of languages that makes it easier for people to navigate and to get their questions answered in their mother tongue. So this is the example of the translated article. And what is cool also is the navigation. So because the resources like help centers, they are quite, well, at least in our case, they're quite they're quite heavy in terms of content. And it would be important to make the navigation smooth. So what I mean is that if you open the main page of Tilda Help Center and you switch the language to, say, Portuguese, you want to keep this language on for the inner links to the pages that you want to navigate, right? So you don't want to end up then onto a English language page, right? So you want to keep this Portuguese language throughout your navigation process, and that's that's the case in the Tilda Help Center, right? And another important thing is that the layouts, right? So the layouts, you don't want the layouts to go wild with different languages. And again, as in our example here, we use the pre-designed blocks from Tilda library that adjust automatically to different languages. And as we said, yeah, the German language oftentimes comes with longer sentences and longer words, but here it's not. It doesn't seem to be a problem. Yes. You can see the long word. Okay, so this is one thing. And also, the Tilda Help Center translation process was not made, for the marketing purposes, or it was not made for promotion purposes. It was merely made to make our users' life easier, for them to be able to go through some tutorials and maybe articles that are not very clear in the beginning, and you need to learn a new skill or learn something new. It all becomes more complex when you need to go through the guides in a different language compared to your mother tongue. So we try to make it easier for them and make it more understandable. Now, another example of how Tilda is using Weglot is Tilda Education. So this is my favorite example because, well, the original is still in English. So Tilda Education is the online learning resource from Tilda. It's free, and here you can find a lot of guides and articles. This is really cool resource for those who want to deepen their knowledge in the website building, digital marketing, and all things design and web design. Mainly. So we have plenty of articles, some video tutorials, some client stories, etc. And so this, and then we have three quite large courses, which is the one of building landing page, the animation course, and the course on digital marketing. And all those articles are really content heavy. So they're really, they cover in-depth topics, and they go into details, and they're quite long and nerdy, as we call them. So to hire the translators for each article, that will be really a long workflow, because if you want to then change anything, or if you want to modify something in the layout, or if a translator makes a mistake while editing the article, it might be it might take you a lot of time to actually find the problem and fix it. So it will make it all way more expensive and way longer to use the actual translator. So what we did, we connected Weglot to Tilda Education, and now we have all these articles translated into 6 languages, in 7 languages actually. So let's say a Spanish version of it. So we have super long article about creating a presentation for designers, with the expert comments, with some examples, some user cases, etc. and it is all translated just perfectly. And it saves so much energy. This is just crazy, you know, for us when we realize that we can go with it, and we checked the quality of the translation with some native speakers, and it was good. That we were like celebrating, because it's really cool. Then if you click the courses, it also translates the courses. So this is our landing page course with the five chapters that is all in Spanish now, and also in French and in German and in any other language we have here. So I really love this example, because this is also, you know, I mean, apart from helping our users to also study in their own language, this project, the Tilda Education project, is aimed at generally help people to understand better about designing better websites, and making internet look better, as we call it, its mission internally. And by translating it into so many languages, we just multiply by far the number of potential, let's say, students or the audience members that can have an access to it. Because also those texts, they're quite content heavy again, and to go through them in English, if it's not your mother tongue and you're not used to use it every day, it can be really challenging. It's not like writing just a quick question to the help center. No, here you really want to take your time and go through the content thoroughly. So so that will be it in terms of the real world examples, real life examples of how we use Weglot. And now it's time for Q&A. So Thomas, you have something to add, maybe?
Yeah, no, it was perfect. Yeah, I really like the example that you shared, because you shared its different use cases, and we have a product that can adapt to a lot of use case, because it's meant to scale and to different company size too. The goal really is to allow everyone or anyone to translate their website, regardless of your technology, or of what's the purpose of you wanted to start the translation journey, and to make it really easy for you to access to different languages. At least it's the goal at Weglot, and it's too beautiful use case. And going through the question, I think we have a couple of questions in the chat.
Great. Yeah. Do you want to take them?
Maybe.
Or?
Yeah, I can take. There is one about pages competing against each other, and what's the
Great.
best between multiple domains, one domain, subdomains, or different. I mean, I would say there is maybe two schools. You can do everything and have like 3 different websites in each languages, and but the it's going to cost you a lot of time and a lot of effort to maintain each of the website, in terms of SEO, in terms of work, in terms of maintaining the technology for the free website. If you don't have a team to be able to handle the free website, it can take a lot of resources. And there is the other way, one website, and with subdomains, subdirectories that you translate, which is like, depending on the tool that you use, it's more, I would say, efficient, cost worthy, and maybe also you have less resources on it. And it's also maybe faster to just try and deploy. So yeah, but again, each version has their pros and cons. I'm sure if there's going to be someone saying like the best thing to do is to have like one website because it's better for localization purpose, better for this and that, and you can also have someone saying something else. So it's a long debate, and we can talk about it for ages. But yeah, I would say just go ahead and try what is best for your business. It's something like it's the more accurate thing that I could say maybe.
Right. Yeah. Indeed, it was also for us that was a challenge in the beginning to understand how to actually organize our websites and our resources in terms of the URL structure. But I think that the takeaway that I can share and that I think could be useful, like something to remember in short, is that there is no clear advantage or disadvantage for SEO if you go, subdomains or subdirectories. You can set it up in both ways. That will be okay for SEO. So it's not that you cannot say that one or the other would damage your SEO. No, it's just different ways of managing it probably, and that's it. Right. So there is another question. About website, so probably I'll take it. If you already have a website, is it possible to add multilingual languages on it? So I guess multilingual.
We've gone through it.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
No. I was just going to say that we've gone through it during the workshop, and we showed like multiple ways and of doing it. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So in short, yes, if you have a website already live, you can totally add languages to it anytime, add or remove at any time you want. So it's not a problem at all. Right.
And the last one, maybe I can take it. It's about the cost and an estimate of the cost for a small business to have Weglot
you want to read it all out loud so that maybe
sorry,
those
my bad. I thought everyone could see it,
no
but
worries.
it's because of So Amelia is asking, Thomas, can you please give an estimate of how much it would cost for a small business to have Weglot connected, for example, to translate the blog section? So you have a free. I mean, with Weglot you have a free trial, then you have a free plan. It's the two major point that is going to differentiate between like other pricing packages are the number of words, the number of languages on your website. So you have a free plan for 2,000 words, one language, and then the first paid plan is for 10,000 words, one languages, and it costs €15 per month. And it can go through the extended plan, which costs almost €700, and it's for 5 million words, 20 languages, and then you can have custom plans too for the other customers who want more than 20 languages and more than 5 million words. And the cool thing is that we will share a coupon to, a promotional coupon with you if you sign up to the website, to the webinar, sorry. So you should go ahead and use it too if you want to try it, or if you want to. I mean, try it. It's free, so everyone can try it because it's free. And if you want to go for a paid plan, or you can just use the promo code that we're going to share afterward.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So all the registered users will receive the email tomorrow with the promo codes, both from Tilda and Weglot. Cool. So I have 4 more questions that we received on Instagram. I will just quickly go through them. So the first one is, where should I place the language switcher for the best user experience? I guess you get this question a lot. Maybe you want to give us some tips.
I mean, the most important thing is that it's visible and that the users can easily access to it. Then it really depends on each website and on how do you plan the UX, how do you plan the design of the website. if it matches perfectly to your website design, it's super great. If you make it visible so that the user, when it comes to your website, he knows that there is the switcher there and you can switch between different languages, is cool. And if you use a tool like Weglot, when someone, like depending on your browser, if someone is navigating in English and you have like the English version of your website, like it's translated in English, so the English version will be displayed when it comes. So depending on the language that your customers are browsing in, we will display those languages. And it's the same too with what you explained on Tilda in the beginning. So yeah, the easiest it is for the users to find out, the best it is.
Right. Yeah, maybe from my side, I will just add that don't hesitate to use the corners. So the people are used to check,
Exactly.
to kind of scan the page on the counter. So they would go through the top side and then both lower corners, and they will scan as well. So don't hesitate to add this switcher to one of those corners. So the next question is, will adding more languages slow down my website or affect performance? I will say in short, we did it. No, it does not in no way affect performance or slows down the website. No, it's not the case. It all goes smooth. Next question is, what's the best approach for choosing which languages to add to my website? So probably I can take it. Probably we already covered it, because I shared our use case of how we chose the languages based on the user requests. And the last question is, do I need to edit translations manually, or can I fully automate the process? In our experience, it depends. If you're happy with the automated translation, it's nice. From what I understand, Weglot is using the DeepL
It depends.
technology.
Exactly. It
Or
depends on the language pairs,
Mhm.
and yes, depending on the language pairs, you have different translation solution that we use. You have the first layer of automatic translation, and as you said, if you want to edit the translation, because I've seen that Anna to ask on the chat, what about words that are translated incorrectly, like slang or internal terms? You can actually go through the translation on the Weglot dashboard and edit them to make sure that it match to the word's meaning or the internal slang that you have or internal terms for your business.
Yeah, right. So well, I guess we took all the questions. Let me just have a last look at it. Yes, you just took Anna's question. Well, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Just don't hesitate to reach out to us, even like on our website, weglot.com, or with me on LinkedIn. I'm super open in like discussing, having conversation, or if you have questions or anything, like don't hesitate.
Yeah. On the webinar page, we have the links to both LinkedIn's,
Yeah.
mine and Thomas. And yes, I invite you to follow Tilda on social media from my side, because we host regularly webinars about, as I said, the website building, digital marketing, etc. And we also post a lot of useful content on Instagram, on Twitter or X, and on LinkedIn. We're basically everywhere. So don't hesitate and follow us for this. Also, don't hesitate to add some reactions to this webinar so more people will see it later in the recording, because the recording stays available for everyone. And let us know if it was useful. So use the comment section, especially if you're watching us in the recording after the live session. It will be very interesting for us to know your opinion. And also, if you have questions while watching the recording, don't hesitate, just drop them and we will make sure to answer all of them. So thank you so much. Thank you to Matt, first of all,
Yep.
for being here and sharing a lot of useful insights with our listeners. And thanks to everyone who was with us today, who asked their questions. I hope it was useful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye
So,
bye.
bye bye.